Mr. Shubham, Coordinator, South Asia and Faculty, FIG Education, Mathias, Overseas Manager, FIG Education. Both our speakers bring with them extensive and insight on academic landscape in France, scholarship opportunities, and a career pathway for international education. There are a few slight guidelines for this webinar. You might say a set of rules that we need to follow, each one of us. Please keep your mics on mute. I request you to use the chat box to drop the questions in the chat box. Selected ones will be answered during the live question and answer. Let's maintain a professional and respectful environment for all participants. Stay till the end because valuable information, resources will be shared towards the end of the session. An e-certificate will be issued after the webinar is over, and do tag us when you are sharing the certificate on the social media. Thank you so much. I look forward that this session is productive for you.
Hello, everyone. Very warm welcome, and thank you for this opportunity to speak. Alka, that was really nice of introducing for introducing me and Mathias. So I'll just brief it up how we would be doing the webinar today. The first thing that we would be going up with is Mathias would be introducing to you what exactly is FIGS education. What do we do? What are the institutions that are open, especially for the upcoming intake? The primary audience that we are having today is, of course, from India, I believe. So most of the students and English programs that we are looking for that we are presenting today. Okay. Apart from the English programs, of course, we do have our French programs open, which you can inquire about if anybody is interested. As I saw in the beginning, there was a few bonjour coming up. So yes, we do have it, but the primary basis for today would be mostly focused on English programs. So I'll ask Mathias to start with the FIGS presentation, followed by later on I'll put up how the programs are in depth, and then I'll also put up some FAQs that usually get asked up, and then we can open up for a Q&A. So Mathias, I hand it over to you.
Well, hello, everybody. Thank you for giving me the time to present our group, which is FIGS Education. I will quickly introduce myself. So I'm Mathias Tauber. I'm the Overseas Manager for FIGS Education, and I'm working for FIGS Education for now almost 8 years. So I will be glad to present you my company, our company, and to show you a bit the opportunities you can have in France for your studies. Here, as said, especially in English. Excuse me, I didn't turn off my phone. So I'm going to share the presentation we planned for you today. Here it comes. Can you just confirm that the presentation is shared with you? It is, perfect. And now, is this still going on? Perfect. So, as I mentioned, today I will represent FIGS Education. FIGS Education is the international department of a group of universities based in France. Our director, I will present him, is Emric Abrignani, the director of FIGS Education, who is not present today. And I want to present again me and Shubham that are going to do the presentation. Today, the focus, the main elements we're going to talk about during this presentation is, of course, the international service, FIGS Education, our international department, the career path we will propose to you today, the school and the campus sites available, and of course, the admission process, which is, I think, the most interesting for most of you. So, to begin, what is FIGS Education? FIGS Education is the international department of a group of schools. It's one of the biggest group of universities you have in France. In this group of universities, you will have 17 institutions with 15 campus sites all around France. We also have international campus sites, which is not counted here. We have more than 5,000 alumni, so all the students. And today we have about between 25 and 30,000 students per year in our campus site. So that's why we are today one of the main group of private universities in France, including on the business network that we will provide. I mentioned also here that we have around 50 English program, but also French program, which is of course our main work here in France. But we are really dedicated to international students speaking in English, because today it is one of the main goal of the group is to begin and to develop more on international level. That's also why we have 15 FIGS branches around the globe to recruit and develop and promote our programs internationally. So why choose FIGS Education? Why come to us? Why come study in our group? But first of all, of course, is the French academic excellence. I mean, all the programs we will provide and we provide today are recognized by the French state, with the French government, by the labor, by the education ministry. So it's really important to us to have this accreditation, because for the international students that you are, it's really important to have those accreditation, because with it you are able to work in France, but also internationally with recognized French institutions. So that's the first point. Of course, another really important thing is the fact that in France, we have a system that really promotes the career. The professional integration in our institution is one of the main goals of our group. For the simple fact that every year that you will study in our company, internships are mandatory and evaluated. You also have a system with the fact that the companies and the universities are really connected, because the goal is when you study a special program in IT, in business or whatever, after that, at the end of the year, you must integrate a company. Why? Because it gives soft skills, and that's one of the goals. It's why also our schools and the students from our school are hired really quickly. It's because they have experience. When you finish the program, you don't just study, you worked also. That's why you don't need extra time to get experience in a company. No, you already have it. So that's why we have a really high degree of integration after the program we would propose. Generally, over 95% of our students find a job 6 months after graduation, because, of course, of the education, but mostly also because of the professional experience they already have. Of course, FIGS Education is also a personalized support. We are dedicated in our service to international students. So we are really used not only to welcome international profile, but also with all the process which is coming with it. I mean, the visa process, we are experienced with it. All of our students also need to get this process. It's not the same process as national ones. Of course, you come from far away, you need to find accommodation, but the visa process is also very long. And the goal of FIGS Education is to welcome you in this process. So it may be more easy. We also have contact with the embassies. So the goal is really to promote and to get this process more easy. And of course, it's a large, wide range of programs that we can also provide, even if today we are going to focus on the English ones and in 2 different kind of areas. So, as I mentioned, FIGS is a really international service and also based internationally around the world. Just to give you an idea of how it works and with who we work. And as you can see, we are really present everywhere. Also in overseas, the French territories, as I represent, so I like to mention it. But we are present in Latin America, we are present in Asia, in Africa. So the goal is really to promote and to recruit a lot of different kind of origins for our campus site. Even for you as students to work not only with Indian or not only with French people, but only with Mexican, with African. The goal is really to promote this diversity, because tomorrow when you will work in international companies, as we are on the international part, I will also mention the fact that in all programs, we also have exchange programs. It means even if you fit in one of our programs, in IT or in business or whatever, the goal is also to have exchange program. So for a semester, for example, to go with Erasmus or Erasmus Plus and to have an international education experience, maybe, I don't know, in Germany or overseas. So that's also part of what we provide in our programs. So really the international part is the goal today in France and in our group. So the career path. So here we're going to see what kind of specialization and major you will be able to find in our group, in our dedicated program. So here you have, okay, I will do a focus, of course, on the English programs that today we're going to speak about. Of course, the biggest we have and the most important we have is the business and marketing. It's really the specialization and the major we have in our company, because it's one of the more required today by the international groups. Here it's business marketing. What does it mean? You also have international trade, you have strategic innovation, business engineering, sales, marketing. I can also mention supply chain management, purchasing. All that are the major you can find in one of our schools, mentioned in drug that we'll speak about. Business is nothing without entrepreneurship and management. The goal of some of our programs is really to create managers that will be able to handle responsibilities in a company and or international group. And moreover, also entrepreneurship are those who create companies. And so we also have some association within the school that is dedicated to help the students that some of you may already have the goal of creating a new company, which means that while you are in the school, you are helped by the teachers, by company, by banks to develop maybe the idea you already have, creating an entrepreneur. And that's one of the main reasons also that business is developed. So that's the main development we can propose in business, entrepreneurship, and management. Of course, we also have IT and digital. That's more for the students that you will become about the IT. Our major program we'll see about that. It also include IT engineering, IT systems, it's network infrastructure, digital marketing. That's all that include for the computer science, engineering. That's really the goal of the program we provide. BBA master, we will talk about that. Communication, of course, communication is super important today. I have some friends today working in this environment that are coming from our schools. For example, Louis Vuitton, which is one of the main brands in France, are recruiting a lot of those profiles, which means communicating on the social networks, which is today the way we do communication mostly, but not only. Don't forget also the other branch, which is the community manager, the brand identity. So how you create the identity of your own brand. That's how it works also. So I would say it's more a creative branch. So you need to have the creativity to get in contact with the potential clients, but mostly digital. Don't forget that today communication is completely online. It's really rare that you still have papers and others. That's how it works today. Finance and accounting, of course, more practical and more obvious discipline. In management, of course, and financial experts. So accounting expertise too are the major that we can provide. And I will finish with the really important two sector, maybe less famous, which will be sustainable environments that we will develop mostly also in business, because all the companies today, international groups, need to have sustainable experts in environment to be sure to develop a green economy, which is also more required simply for our environment, and which is one of the most values that we have, that we like to share with our students in our universities. So what about the schools? What about the program we have? What about the campus sites? So here you will find all the campus sites that we will have in France. All the campus sites are accredited by the French Ministry of Labor and Education. And all the campus sites we have here are in advanced technologies. The goal is for the students that will work in computer science, they need to have access to all the technologies they might use during their education. For all the people who want to work in robotics, or all the students who want to work in artificial intelligence, all those thematics can be used on the campus site. That's why we call the campus site in advanced technology. Of course, today, the goal is to focus on English-speaking programs, IT and business. That's why Paris and Lyon are the main campus sites we can propose to the students that wish to work in those areas. To be honest, I think it's also the most appropriate, also for Indian students that are really known for liking Paris. That's really the city that people enjoy because it's the heart of France, where you have the Tour Eiffel. So also for the touristic environment and for the cultural environment, tourists, I think it's the most interesting city. But I wish not to forget Lyon, because I made my study there too. That's why I like to mention it, which is the capital of the gastronomy. And in France, we really like to eat. And you have a really cultural, you have a lot of museum, etc. in this city. And of course, the English-speaking program that I provide over there. So here are all the universities and private education that we will provide in France, all the university we have. Of course, the one in the red corner are the school we will present today, because the more dedicated for the English part, I think the school that are required most, so IDRAC Business School. And we also have EPSI in computer science and engineering. But what I wanted to show you with this presentation is also the fact that on all campus sites you will study on, you are not only a student at EPSI, or you are not only a student at IDRAC Business School. You are on a campus site with all those students, which means you have a lot of events shared by all the other universities. So you have a really dynamic student life. That's why it's really interesting, because even if you are studying in computer science, for example, you will also meet people from business, people from entrepreneurship, people from communication. And the goal in our campus site is really to mix all those specialty, all those major, to give you not only the competence of a computer engineer, but maybe a computer engineer that will also know business, which is really super important, because let's imagine that a computer engineer develop a new application that will be super popular, but don't know how to sell it, it will not work. So that's why the contact with other universities are super important for us, because you will have your diploma in computer engineering, for example, but you will be also able to sell your application, or you also will be able to know other people that work in finance that will be able to finance your project. So that's the goal of having a lot of university on the same campus site, is to communicate the competencies and then create a network. So first of all, now I will do a focus on the two schools we will present today that we think are the most interesting for you, and that also provide an English-speaking program adapted maybe to the population. So first school is IDRAC Business School. IDRAC Business School is one of the most famous business schools you can have in France. It was created in 1965, so it's one of the oldest schools. So really they have the experience and the habilitation to welcome a lot of students. Each year they have around 4,000, 5,000, and 6,000 students per year. Today we will be around 4,500 approximately. So it's really a big university for France. 100% of the programs, as I say, are recognized by the French Ministry of Labor and Education. And also, IDRAC Business School is part of what we call in France the Programme Grande École. So it's a French term, but it means that you are part of the best university you have in France. to be one of the best universities in France, you need to have this label, which is a Programme Grande École, which means a program for the biggest school. I mean, the translation is not perfect, but that's what it means. Of course, we have more than 36,000 ex-students, alumni around the world, and around 90% of our students are employed within 6 months after graduation. And that's one of the main numbers I want to show you, because when you come into a business school, of course, the goal after it is to fit in the business world, to find a job quickly and performant. And that's why 90% of our students work really quickly after graduation. And that's one of the main goals for our students, is to fit in the business world, in the working environment. So the two programs we will offer today for Idrac Business School. First is the bachelor program. I just want to precise one thing. In France, the system is quite different from the Anglo-Saxon world. It means you don't have 4 years of BBAs and 1 year of MBA. In France, it's 3 years of bachelor degrees where you have a diploma, and then you have 2 years of MBAs. It's generally how it works, and master degrees. So the first one is, of course, a bachelor in marketing and business, which is a program developed in English, also available in French, but here mostly in English. It's one of the best programs you have in bachelor marketing and business in France, and one of the oldest diploma you can have here. So it's a program in 3 years. The goal, of course, is business, negotiation, international affairs, but also the marketing part, which is super important for the connection of the business world. And then for the level after the bachelor, you have 2 different programs available in French and English. First, one of the major and one of the specializations, les spécialités françaises, the French specialties, are luxury, marketing, and innovation. Because of course, France is also famous for the luxury. We have a lot of brands such as Louis Vuitton, we have Dior, we have Hermes, and all those brands, worldwide famous, are based in France and are recruiting in France. And those companies based mostly in Paris, so that's why we invite the students that are interested in this program to work in this environment, because even for the Champagne order, it's a group that recruits a lot of those students, because they have the specialization in luxury that today is super important in France. And then you have what we call the Master in Management. For those of you who want to handle teams, companies, in the program, what we call Programme Grande École. Programs in French and English, but of course here in English mostly for you. The second school that we will present today is EPSI. EPSI, this time, is a school in computer science. For those of you who want to become maybe IT engineer. So it's more a scientific major. This school is older than Idrac. It was created in 1961. It's the first school in France that created a professional environment for the IT engineer. What does that mean? It means that EPSI creates a connection between the work environment and the students they have. That's why the professional environment and the network we provide is super interesting to fit in the work environment. Again, 100% of our diploma are certified and recognized. We have more than 5,000 worldwide graduates. And of course, we have more than 5,000 partners company. That was I was mentioning about the fact that we need to have a connection for the IT personnel with the companies. And as you can see, the companies where we are hiring are worldwide famous. Maybe not in the luxury, as I mentioned, in business, but here, for example, we have Airbus. We will have all the Capgemini. We have Decathlon, Carrefour, Engie, Sanofi, which are biggest and worldwide companies based in France, of course, but with a high demand in IT personnel. Today, all the companies in which you can work need an IT department. I work with my laptop, everybody is working with it. So we need application, we need IT personnel to develop and to help the companies to develop those tools for the personnel. Again, for the programs, you have two types of programs. The first one I really like because really connect to the reality of the world is the Bachelor in Artificial Intelligence developer. What does that mean? It means that today, of course, you will study computer engineering, but you have a new game, a new player in the field, which is the artificial intelligence. Today in computer science, you can't work without knowing how you can work with an artificial intelligence. To give you an idea, a few years ago, the IT guy has to develop website, has to create application, etc. Today, the artificial intelligence can do that for you. So how, as an IT guy, can you work with it? Of course, today the artificial intelligence can do a lot of things, but they need IT to maintain it. So that's why this program is super intelligent, is how you stay in the computer science, in the IT world, with a new tool, which is not a replacement. Artificial intelligence is a tool for the developer that want to work in computer science. And that's what this bachelor is about. And afterwards, you also have the master and MBA, so to have more manager skills in this area is an artificial intelligence and data science master's or MBA, which is the next steps after the bachelor. I will finish with a last school, which was not maybe the most interesting. The goal is for this school is not to give you an entire program about languages. It's just here to give you an idea that if you come to IDRAC, if you come to EPSI, languages are mandatory. Even if you don't want to work in international affairs, languages are mandatory. Because when you work internationally, of course, you speak English, that's perfect. However, you have so many other companies that need to, you cannot speak only English today if you want to work in a multinational group. You need to speak many different languages. That's why if you study at EPSI, if you study at IDRAC, languages are mandatory. English, of course, but for you, I think it will be quite easy. You also have the opportunity to learn French. And I think for those who want to work in luxury, for example, it's a really great opportunity. And if you want, you can also have other languages, and you have all the list here. If you want to learn Arabic, if you want to learn Chinese, if you want to learn German, if you want to learn Japanese, Korean, etc., you have the ability to study it at IDRAC and EPSI. Even if you want to start from the ground, if you want to start from zero, so you will have to pick one. To give you an idea, in Europe, today the students speak, of course, their own language. I speak French, but I speak more or less English, but also I speak Italian, Spanish, German, and Dutch. Because today, when I work with international companies, I need to be able to, and sometimes you will have, people can speak English, but sometimes they can't. So you need to be able to adapt yourself. And if you want to work in an IT environment, maybe Chinese, maybe Japanese, maybe Korean is super important. If you want to work in a luxury environment, French, Italian are super important. That's the country where you have fashion show, for example. And so you need to be adaptable. And languages are part of the soft skills we want to give to our students. That's why for me and for the group is super important. Don't be afraid, you can start from zero. So if you want to begin French, super opportunity to begin it with us in France. I will finish with the admission procedure. First of all, of course, it's an application. We need your files, we need your transcripts, we need your CV, we need your curriculum, we need your motivation letter, the recommendation letter, the diplomas. It's really classic. I mean, we need an application, we need application files. When we have it, we begin the admission process. The admission process works in 2 steps. First, we analyze your files. Do you have the competence to fit in our group, in our universities? Second, motivational interview, 30 minutes with one of our jury. And the goal is to see, are you motivated to fit in our university? Have you the competence? Have you the professional project that fit with the program you choose? Once the admissions process is ended and that you have been accepted, you have the registration process. It means that we wait for a first payment, a first amount, a deposit to block your inscription for the next intake. In this case, September 25, sorry. And once we have this first deposit, we begin the visa process. You receive an inscription letter, and this inscription letter allows you to ask for the French visa, the French student visa. And we welcome you, we work with you to have this visa. It means a first step with Campus France that will check and verify your documents and your application, and then with the French consulate to obtain the visa. And in all this process of getting the French student visa, we are there. With FIGS, we are there to confirm your inscription to Campus France, to confirm your inscription to the French consulate, to check if your documents are the right to ask for the visa. And once you get the visa, once you get the French student's visa, then you arrive to France and we welcome you at the campus site. We show you the campus, we give you the last administration tools to fit into France. If you need to find an accommodation, can help you, of course. Be careful whatsoever, I want to precise it. For the accommodation part, if you want to go to Paris, you need to check really earlier. Paris is a really dense city. We have a lot of requests for it. So of course, you need to apply earlier. And then you begin your courses, of course, you begin the lessons. Here are maybe the last important things I want to show you and I want for you to know. First, of course, don't wait the last moment to apply, because of course, maybe here the Indian students want to apply in our universities. I'm super glad about it, but we also have Africans, we have Americans, we have people from Oceania or from New Zealand, for example, or internationally that wants to apply, and also French people. So don't wait the last moment, because of course we will have a ton of application. So to be sure to get a place, don't forget to apply quickly. Don't forget that the French student visa needs some time to obtain. To get it, it takes some time. Generally, we think it's between 6 and 8 weeks to get the French student's visa. So don't forget, that's also why you need to begin early to apply, because you have this period to get the visa. Of course, you also, one of the questions is the fact that some students, the international students are allowed to work in France as student job. So that with the student's visa, you are allowed to work in France as a student's job. I mean. Don't forget to have your passport and to update it, of course. Of course, we don't accept students that arrive too late in our programs. For example, if the intake is the 5th September, if you arrive with 2 weeks late, we cannot fit you in the program, because we think that you missed too many lessons. So just be careful when we give you dates to fit with the right dates, to come to the lesson, because if you are not there, the problem is that you will miss lessons, and then academically, it will be difficult for you. It's not the goal of our group. The goal is really to supervise you to be sure that you get the diploma and that you fit in the work environment. So yeah. So here are the most idea and the final point I will make. Don't forget that you come to France and to prepare financially for all those for this travel, because you need to travel to France, live in France, study in France, all that of course require a fee. So don't forget to prepare financially for this trip. So thank you, everyone. I hope I was clear for you with all the details I showed you today. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. And of course, if you have some question, we will be really glad to answer it. Of course, with my coworker, Shubham, that is still there somewhere on the platform. So don't hesitate for the question, and I will be glad to welcome you on the campus side. Thank you.
Thank you, Mathias, for your part. I'll just put up a few quick one presentation from my side for the FAQs. So need to share my screen. Maybe you can stop presenting and perfect. So there are a few FAQs that I would like to put up that basically might be in the students' mind before asking. Maybe I can try to answer it out. And of course, then we will open up the Q&A sessions a little bit as well. Sorry. So the first question that usually arrives is, how is the application process a bit different from other countries? Usually Indian students, especially Asian students, are more focused on applying to the Anglo-Saxon universities somewhere in UK, US, Canada. So usually the process is to directly go to the consulate and apply after once you're in contact with the university. The answer is, for this one, we do have a small change because we have something called as Campus France in between, which is actually a government body of French Ministry of Education, which takes care of the application, where you would need to apply for the school during this particular, let's say, recruitment process. So you would be getting a confirmation and interview with the FIGS school. Then once you pass it, as Mathias had explained before, you would be going to Campus France. We are here. Our host for the day, RSR Global Group, is here to assist you for this particular process. And then we would be going ahead with regards to the consulate application, which would be, of course, at the VFS Global, where most of the visa applications take place. So the interview part with the consulate mostly happens with the Campus France and not the embassy of France directly. So you have to take that process a bit more seriously and be prompt to the replies for Campus France. And this is a slight bit of diversion that you can see from your regular UK, US, Australian applications. The next question which comes up is, there a post-study work permit? Yes, of course, there is a post-study work permit. For Indians, with the new MOUs that has been signed between the two countries, we have 2 years post-study job search visa, which is called as APS, Authorisation Provisoire de Séjour, which you receive for 2 years after the completion of your course once you are successfully passing out. For other nationalities, other than Indians, it's mostly for 1 year. If you are from Nepal, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Bhutan, some other country or African countries, mostly it is for 1 year after the master's. Okay. The third question which commonly comes up into the picture is, can we study during, can we work during studying in France? Yes, of course, you can work, as Mathias gladly highlighted in his PowerPoint as well. Up to 20 hours per week is legal, is possible. You can study. And of course, if you're doing internships, which are full-time, those are entertained as well, because those are a part of your study program. So there is no issues of working on a full-time internship either, after or before your or during the course completion. Another question which comes up is, can we have an exchange semester in a partner university that we have in and around Europe? So for bachelor's program, it is possible, because most of the parts bachelor's programs it is possible. For master's programs, the MIM program, it's possible. For the MBA, it's a bit more fast track program, so it would not be possible. So we would like to make it clear that if you're thinking of, let's say, going with our partner university somewhere in Germany or somewhere in let's say Poland to study one semester, it would be possible, absolutely possible for bachelor's. Master's MIM program, yes, but only for the first year. And MBA, it would not be completely possible because it's a fast track program. Another question which comes up is there any scholarships? We are actually offering some scholarships for eligible candidates. So you can, of course, apply if you wish to apply. And if you're eligible, we have some scholarships depending on different criteria. So we have some scholarships which are academic record basis and some scholarships which are cultural integrations. So, of course, you can try by applying these, and the eligible candidates would be, of course, entertained for some scholarships that we can offer for a slight reduction in your fees or help you out in some other matters. So this would be possible. Does the school provide internship or job? This is something which comes up completely. As Mathias said, we actually have a very nice high employment rate after graduation. I'd like to highlight, I myself, I am a FIGS education graduate, okay, a pass out from FIGS education school, which is, I did my first year in IDRAC and another in IFAG, which is an entrepreneurship school. Yes, it is 90% that you would be getting employed. The school assists in finding jobs and in internships via its placement assistance cell. However, unlike in India or in America, there are no campus placements. Companies do not really come to the campus, open up for 100 applications or something like that. It mostly is not the French way or the European way, I would say, to work. But most probably, it's the companies who contact us, and then the placements happen at the end of the company. So you can, of course, we will provide you good leads, as we proudly show that 90% of our students get employed 60, let's say around within the 6 months that they pass out from the courses. You would have our assistance, and there would be some things that which are there, and I would gladly put up the actual scenario what we are having in Europe compared to the others and compared to the Anglo-Saxon world. Sorry. Question 7, which comes up is, can we start a business in France after completing studies? Yes, it is possible on your post-study visa, because a visa comes up for either searching a job or start your own company. So you can start your own company, and we do have some group in alumni and others who do help you in forming companies and putting up a kind of a zone where you have an incubator kind of an environment. I myself work as a faculty for entrepreneurship, as well as I myself work as a as as one of the members for of the alumni, where we kind of try to put up an incubator kind of an environment for you to launch the business. So you can, of course, do that. So you don't have to worry about that part. Question 8, which comes up, which is very frequently asked, is how important is French as a language as working in France? I wouldn't lie, it's absolutely important. I had to learn myself French language with regards to all of the parameters to actually go and work. Yes, there are English speaking jobs which are available, mostly in the domain of IT and intelligence, which is there, something that is very popular in France. With all these industries, you do need to learn French language, and of course you would be in France and you want to work in France, you would need French language. That is absolutely needed, and we provide students with a language school programs to learn it easily, fast. Viva Mundi is what Mathias did put up a few minutes ago. The last but not the least question comes up is, what are exactly the fees of the programs offered? Usually our fees are changing every year a little by little. This year, for the upcoming intake, the fees are for the bachelor's program are around 9,000 euros per year. So that would be 9,000 euros for the first year, second year, third year that you are planning to come for. And for masters, it would be 13,500 wholly for the MBA program. There is one line missing. I did forget to add, which was MIM program, which is around 10,000 euros a year. Okay, so those are the fees. You can of course get this information from our partners, RSR Global, which they would guide you up with. Another part that I would like to highlight is you would find our brochures and flyers from our partners, where you can look at the detailed courses which are put up, and you can of course have a look at what are the subjects that are going to be taught. And if you have any academic or pedagogical questions, you can also raise those, as I am mostly working with these schools even on the teaching part. So feel free to ask them if you need to. So I think we will open up the Q&A session, Alka, maybe for the
Yes,
students
thank
to
you so much, Shubham.
participate. Yes.
It was absolutely wonderful. There's one question, or you have something to say?
I think Matthias is still sharing the screen. So maybe Matthias? Yeah, that's good.
Is it better?
All right.
Yeah, it's good.
Great,
Now
great.
we can
Thank you
see
so
everyone.
much. All right. So I think there's already one question by Mr. Bhaskar Vishwas. He's written, I'm a student of media science. I'm currently doing my MSc in media science. Can I join your institute as a guest faculty? I completed my 2 years master's program in media science. Please tell me.
If you're in India, that wouldn't be completely a possibility because you need to work in France and you need to get over here. But if there is a collaboration, you can all of course drop us an email to work together. We can look at it. It completely depends on the experience that you're having. So we would be looking into it. So yeah. Any
Thank you, Mr.
course related
Bhaskar.
questions, maybe?
Yeah, there's another question by Isha Jaiswal. Do you have the course Master in French Language, Translation and Interpretation?
So all our courses are actually offered in two languages, English primarily and French. The language that we choose, basically English or French, all the courses would be delivered 100% in that language. You can choose whichever you want. If you are well versed in French, I know a lot of students who are attending might be already studying French in their high school or somewhere else. It is possible to apply for a French language course. Usually the requirement for the French language course would be somewhere around B2, like a DELF B2, to apply, so that you would be comfortable in the classroom. Apart from that, for English, of course, our interviewers do evaluate you on the factor that you are very well, let's say, fluent in speaking, writing, reading, and that's what we look at. If you have DELF B2, Isha, as I read your message, it would be possible for applying for a master's course in French language, most probably. Yes.
Just to continue of what you were saying, just I confirm, of course, all you said. The thing that if you have a DELF B2, it confirms also your level for the French language. And anyway, we also will test you during the motivational interview, because the motivational interview will be, of course, in the language of the program that you've chosen.
So that's, I
I
hope
think
it
thank you
answers
so
your
much.
question, Isha.
Yeah. Is there any more questions anybody would like to ask? We have just a few more minutes to just quickly wind up. So if anybody has a question, thank you, Aisha. Just wait for a few more. I think it was a great session, and Mathias and Shubham have been really great in answering all the questions. You also have those questions, which I think the participants wanted to know. So that was great. And anybody else, the last few minutes, if you have any questions, there's people who are joining in still.
Yes, feel free to ask any questions.
Yes,
It can
yes.
be as simple as possible, because it's a question of dedicating your future academic years. We can completely understand if you have like, as I like to say, even the stupidest questions are entertained. So don't, like, feel free to ask.
Yes,
Uh,
yes.
don't be shy on that part. So we have another question, which is, do you help in university shortlisting visa, education, loan, and all?
Yes.
So university shortlisting, as we said, we are a group of education. So we are representing 20 different colleges that are there. So suiting on your, let's say, profile, we do help you like pick up the best possible option, which is available in our group of schools. Um, you can also, of course, check with Campus France with regards to this, which they assist with, as they are the official body for Ministry of Education in and French education in general. Visas, we do assist. We do assist completely. We have a hand-to-hand holding team along with, of course, our partners and host for today, RSR Global, who would also help you out with their team with regards to visas, education loans, most probably, and other process which accompany.
All right, thank you so much. There's one question from Mr. Abdullahi Mohammed. My question is regarding, again, visa requirements. And there's another question from Abdullah Kar. Is this only with private universities? There's like two questions. One is with Abdullahi with the visa requirement.
Okay. So for the visa requirement, of course, you need, depending on the level, you need your previous education done. So if you're applying for bachelor's, you'll need your high school diplomas cleared with at least what we have as a good passing grade. And then you need to, of course, complete our recruitment process of interview. You need to do an interview at the Campus France, which you need to clear, of course, which also checks with regards to your motivation, the program choice, and what exactly are you learning. And then for the visa requirements, you have usually your financial requirements, which you can also check on your app on your Campus France website of your particular country. Usually, you need somewhere around a support money of 700 to 800 euros approximately to support your stay in France, 700 to 800 per month, which comes to around 8,000 euros, approximately 8 to 10,000 euros on this
Shubham, this
side.
guy is from Africa. So there was the question. He's from
So yeah,
Nigeria,
okay.
Abdullahi.
So yes, so for African students, we do have a FIGS Africa team to help you out as well. But again, it's the same because most of the times you are coming over here, you are staying in Paris, it's somewhere around 700, 800 euros per month expenses which are bought up. So you need to show those show monies while you're applying for visas, irrelevant of the country that you're applying for, as well as, of course, academic fees are supposed to be paid. So provided all of these things are there, uh, most of the parts are clear. If your academic records is clear and your financial records are clear, you wouldn't find a problem for the visas, and we are there to assist for the visa process.
Just for information, I was the Africa area manager for Africa for a long time. So I really used to work with those kind of profile. So yes, as Shubham really said really well, is the fact that the process is internationally. So of course we will welcome you if you wish to choose it, but there is no differences between the African, Asian or American process. It's an international one.
Thank you, Mathias. Thank you, Shubham. And thank you, Abdullahi, for this question. There's one more question. Is this information that we are sharing is for private universities? This is the question that's from Abdul Nawkar.
Yes. So we are a group of private institutions. We are private institutions put up together, and we would be like we are working on this particular part of let's say promoting our programs and other things. So yes, this is for private universities. If you wish to apply for some public universities, you can of course contact your Campus France, nearest Campus France offices. But yeah, this seminar is dedicated for FIGS education, which is private universities. So yeah, that's a part.
All right. Another question from KK. I'm not sure what's the full name, but yes. How many percentage scholarship is applicable on the tuition? What is the criteria for the scholarship eligibility?
So as I said before, for scholarship eligibility, we started this year the scholarship program actually by providing some scholarship based on cultural diversity, economic difficulties, or maybe with regards to academic programs. So of course, there is one which is very, very clear that every institution does is based on academics. So you can apply for the academic scholarship if you are having good grades, considering your applications. For example, somewhere around, if you have been a scholar throughout your complete academic program, you can apply for an academic scholarship, which would of course be a good percentile based on whatever you have studied at the end of the degree. And any other scholarships we would be consider ready to entertain. Of course, we would be happy to take your applications for cultural part, or the part of economic difficulty that has been faced. Our scholarships can be a reduction on the fees based on the candidature. So what we are basically doing is um, a percentage is not completely fixed with regards to it. It can vary anywhere between the part. But yes, of course, we can. I think based on your application, we would be able to tell you, because there's not a certain percentage as fixed. We do have a funding for scholarship that we would be allotting the scholarships from. So we would that would be my answer for that part.
All right. Any more questions?
Maybe somebody might have come up with this question with regards to
Is French language compulsory or not? Preetam Tiwari has asked.
you would have to learn it as a subject compulsorily while you're doing the English course, because you have to be employable, of course, in France as well. But French language is compulsory in general. I would not say a lie, to work in France, to grow in France. So I did it myself as well. I'm from India originally, so yeah.
Is the specific platform we find the scholarships, is it full scholarship?
It
Mohammed,
is okay. So it is not full scholarships. I'll be clear on that part. And for scholarships, you can just apply with your application form. So we can gladly look into it and provide you with the details if the scholarships are you're eligible or not on that particular part, and how much we would be willing to sponsor you on that part of the studies.
all right. I guess we've already answered a lot of questions. Um, I would request everyone to just switch on your cameras for a while before we take a picture together. If everybody is comfortable, they can just quickly switch on the cameras. Anjali, Vikas, Pramod, there are people joining in still. Bhaskar, Gitika, Prabha. It's great to see everyone. I have a few more cameras to be on. Abdullah, if you would like to switch on your camera, please. All right, we'll take a quick picture. All right, thank you so much. Thank you all of you for being a part of this enlightening session on study in France. And we hope today's webinar gave you a valuable insight into academic opportunities, scholarships, and career prospects awaiting you in France. Special thanks to our esteemed speakers, Mr. Shubham, Mr. Mathias. Your expert guidance and practical tips have surely inspired and informed many future global learners here today. So thank you today. Thank you very much. And what's the next step? If anybody is interested, you have questions or you want personal guidance, feel free to reach us to RSR Global. We will be sending you up a follow-up email with important links, resources mentioned today. Keep an eye on the upcoming webinar and events. More exciting topics are on the way. Thank you so much. I thank you everyone who has taken out time to join this webinar and to learn about study in France. Thank you.